Hello, I'm Beth the Builder, in case you didn't know. So I want to show you some of my favorite tools today, I think tools that if you're a beginning DIY-er that you should probably have or, consider having, I don't know. Okay, so in no particular order, although this one is like my favorite that I think every homeowner DIY-er should probably have because it's just so damn useful, is a drill. So this is a Craftsman Next Tech. I got it about 2 years ago. I don't think they make them anymore. I think they have a different compact drill now. I think it was like 60 bucks. It's super, super lightweight because it doesn't have a giant battery pack on the bottom, but it does make it less powerful. It's only 12 volts versus a lot of other drills that I just did a quick search about are 20 volt, 15 and 20 volt. So I think this is a super nice drill for beginner or light DIY-ers because it is not crazy expensive, it's super simple, and it's not super heavy. So if you lack upper body strength and you want to drill something super high up or whatever, you're climbing on a ladder, it's super nice for light projects. But not everyone can drop 60 bucks on a drill. So there are cheaper options. I did a quick search that you can get some drills for under $25. So obviously they're not going to be super fancy and they're probably not going to be as heavy duty, but it's still a nice option to have. If you can't even drop 25 bucks on a drill, which some people can't, and I totally understand, hey, screwdrivers exist for a reason. You don't have to have a drill to do things. Using a screwdriver is great and handy, and there's some places that you're just gonna have to use a screwdriver. You can get a set of screwdrivers for I don't know, 10 bucks or something and get 6 of them. Or, you can go to whatever, the secondhand store, and I'm guarantee there's screwdrivers there. So yeah, screwdrivers, drill, number one, get some. Get several screwdrivers, get another drill if you can. I'm gonna try and get one for Christmas. That's a little bit heavier duty. The rest of these are in no particular order. I just think they're some of the most useful. I think I use all of these probably for every project I do, or pretty damn close. Okay, the only other power tool that I have laying out in front of me is my jigsaw. So this is a Ryobi. It is so useful. I think I use this on every single project because I have a circle saw, but it's super old, and I think it needs some new blades because they're super, super dull, so it smokes a lot. It's also probably as old as I am because I think it was my dad's, and I'm sure he got it secondhand, so it's very, very old. But this is new, and it is so useful. I cannot stress how useful it is. I use it for every single project because it's fast, it's small, it's not super heavy, which is great. It's a old Black & Decker 7 1/4 inch circle saw, and it is so heavy. It is hefty. So this, I believe, was 60 bucks. The battery pack didn't come with it either, so that was 20 bucks with the charger. So, filling out a toolbox, it can get pretty pricey. But you don't have to have a jigsaw or a nice circle saw or a compound miter saw or something super fancy to DIY, to do the that you want to do. And you don't even need to have a fancy, nice jigsaw like this. Because yeah, all of that stuff, a bandsaw is a few $100s. Even a nice jigsaw is for sure $30 or $40 if you get even a lower end one. But it's not $30 or $40, just hand saws. This is $10 maybe. So this is my back saw for my miter box because again, I don't have a miter saw, a fancy one. So yeah, this is $10. The saw I would recommend if you're just gonna go with a hand saw is literally just called a hand saw. This is more specific. Barely, but it is. But a hand saw is just super, super basic. So yeah, and that stuff is, $5 to $10. You can get a fancier one for $15 to $20, not crazy. And then you can cut. So obviously having a jigsaw is my favorite. I love it. But, not everyone can afford to drop $40, $50, $60 or $200, $300, $400, $500 on something much fancier. I would love to have a compound miter saw. I would love it, but I'm poor, you know? I can't drop $300 on a saw, like when I can get by with what I have. So some super basic things that obviously, well, I mean, not even obviously, okay? I don't know what you know, but everyone should have these things. A hammer, get a hammer. So useful. Hammer the out of everything. A screwdriver, wait. A measuring tape, that's what this is. I know what it is. Don't comment about it. A level, this one's fancy. It has magnets on it. I got this from my dad. A square. So those 4 things are all very, very simple and basic. I guess I have a lot of Stanley things. I'm not really sure why, but I do. All right, so yeah, get yourself a hammer. Get something, I mean, yeah, when I go to Home Depot, I'll like pick up all the hammers and be like, oh, I like this one, I like this one, I don't like this one. It's just like personal choice, I think. I mean, obviously there's different hammers for different things. I've never bought a hammer. I've literally been given or I guess like adopted them from places. I don't know, maybe I'm stealing people's hammers or something. I have like 5. So, but just a simple basic hammer. I mean, it's like $10. Again, I'm sure, you know, you could go to a thrift shop and get one, but get a hammer. Every project you do will use a hammer. Even if it's like when you get pissed and then you like hammer the shit out of like a screw or a nail or, you know, whatever. Okay, the same with a measuring tape. You know, the fancy brands are always gonna be more expensive, but you can get a cheap one for like $4 to $6, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you wanna be able to measure things, all right? Look up how to measure things accurately because, I mean, that's not something that they teach you in school, is how to use a tape measure accurately. I literally just found this out. No one had ever told me this. I had never realized it. On the back of good tape measures, there will be numbers. This one says 2 inches. So you put it across the thing, and instead of trying to figure out like where is it hitting right here, or doing like a little like weird angle guy like that, which is what like I had always seen like my dad doing, and no, you go to the corner and then you know that's 2 inches. Whoa, mind blown. I'm sure that like professional carpenters and all these other fancy people know that, but just a random person isn't gonna know that stuff. And it's not stupid, and I'm not a dummy, and you're not a dummy for not knowing that stuff. It's just like, we don't know until you know. Okay, and then a level and a square. Really, really basic. This one's from Walmart. It was like $3. I have a bigger, fancier one, but this one's really light. Something I learned about with squares is that you want to actually make sure that they are square. You can look up on the internet how to do this when you get a square, because otherwise you may be using it like assuming that it's square when it's actually not. So I believe what you do. You can look this up because I may not explain it super well. Okay, so you put this on a board and then you draw a line, and then you flip it over and you draw a line, and the lines should meet. They should like be essentially right on top of each other. Okay, a level. I have like 6 levels and they're all different sizes. This one's my favorite because it's kind of like the perfect size, and it's got multiple levels in it. It's also got magnets on it, which is so cool that you can stick it on something that's metal and it doesn't fall off. Like, I just constantly drop levels whenever I'm using them. But you can get a cheap level for, I don't know, $8, $10 or something. It may not be obvious that you would need a level for things. I like to eyeball it and then I regret it later because I'm like, oh, that's not level. I can tell, and now it's gonna bug me. Okay, so these are locking pliers and they are wicked useful. I've used them for stripped screws, for rusty bolts, I mean, all kinds of shit. So yeah, I mean, you can get some for like $12, I think, on the internet, and so handy. The jaws open wider and narrower, and you want it to be kind of as narrow as possible so that it can lock around what you're doing and you'll be able to feel it. So handy, get some. I mean, none of these things are crazy expensive. I ask for a lot of tools and things like that for like gifts. Even just a basic toolkit, like I think you could do all this stuff for probably under $40, $50 if you're like really frugal and you're going for like I just need a basic screwdriver. I just need, you know, a simple saw. I just need a level. Like, all of these things can be like really, really cost effective. And then you can do like all of the things essentially that I've done in my videos, because all it takes is, you know, like trying, like just trying that thing. Like, I'm just a normal person that happens to really enjoy doing this stuff and figuring it out and solving problems. So, you know, even if you're not as like daring as I am, you can still do a lot with very, very simple things. And the internet is always there to help you. I will help you. Yeah, don't be intimidated by not having all the fanciest things, and also by either being, you know, being a woman, you know, that can be like kind of a detriment to going into hardware stores and going to lumber yards, because like you just instantly don't get the same respect as men do. And you just have to like assert yourself and be like, no, I don't need help. Or if you really don't know what you're looking for, you can be like, yeah, this is what I'm working on. Like, can you help me? And a lot of those places do have maybe someone that will help you, or they're full of crotchety men and you can just be like, no, f off. I'm gonna go find what I need. And you're gonna, you know, just stand there and I guess be surprised that a lady knows how to find a hardware store or something. You don't need to prove that you know what you're talking about, because even if you don't, like neither does that bozo guy over there. And nobody's, you know, grilling him with 20 questions of whether or not he should or shouldn't be doing that, or does he even know how to do that? Like, no one's doing that. So you don't owe anybody anything. If you enjoy doing this stuff, if you're handy, if you like fixing things and like just like getting your hands dirty, like just do it. You don't owe anybody an explanation. Okay, the last two tools are this guy. So this is a razor scraper, I believe is what it's called. I had to look it up because I did not know what it was called. I think I got it from my grandpa or something. I don't know, it appeared in my toolbox. And then the other one is, yeah, some chisels. Get some chisels. Okay, so a razor scraper is like $3 on Amazon. You can get like these cheap aluminum ones. You can get new blades for them and everything for very, very cheap. Again, I've used this for so many weird things. Like, oh, I need to scrape this paint off of this thing. Or, oh no, I got caulk on that thing that it doesn't belong on. Ooh, use my razor scraper. So handy. They're useful as f. So get one of these. And then chisels. So you can get a simple chisel set for like $10. So I have several of them, and some of them are old and and some of them are a little bit nicer that I try and keep nicer and sharpened and stuff. But they're very, very handy. I've definitely used some of my older ones for, you know, not wood, things that they probably shouldn't be used for, but they're mine. I can do what I want with them. You know, word of the wise. I mean, with any of these things, they can be dangerous. Chisels particularly are dangerous. The times that I've gotten injured has been not because of my jigsaw, not because of something like this. Chisels though, beware. They are sharp. I also have sharpened some of mine, so that's also why. They're sharp and they'll f you up. All it takes is the chisel jumping off of what you're doing one time, and then you're like, oh no, I'm bleeding. So that's happened to me a couple times. I have a chisel shaped scar on my thumb. I have a scar as well right here from the same thing that my chisel jumped off of what I was doing and gave me like a big old, it was like a little like U essentially. So that's literally the thing that I've been injured by more. It just happens. Now I wear gloves when I use it, but sometimes you just can't. I'm just doing something. I can't be bothered by gloves. But yeah, obviously all of these things can be dangerous, so use with caution. But that shouldn't deter you from using any of them, because anything can be dangerous. But chisels, man, they'll get you. So safety first, wear gloves, I never do this, I never wear goggles. I got glasses, it's fine. So yeah, this is kind of part one of, I think, tools for beginners. I mean, you don't have to listen to me, I'm just one person, but these are all tools that I've used so often, and they're all really useful, and none of them are crazy expensive, and you can get cheaper options for them. You know, I know what it's like to be a beginner and try and kind of just cobble stuff together and not have all the right tools, and that's really frustrating. But with like 9 to 10 tools, like you can get a lot done, and it doesn't have to cost you a lot. So you don't have to be an expert carpenter to do a lot of this stuff in your home. It really just takes like some guts, and also knowing that like, I can figure it out. This isn't rocket science. I got the internet, I can go read a book. You know, people can help me, you can ask people that you know. Yeah, I just don't want people to be intimidated by how many different tools are out there, but just starting with some basics will get you really far. All right, I think, yeah, that's gonna do it. Yeah, I've got links below to where you can follow me. If you want more honest home repair videos, subscribe, like, or don't, do what you want. And thanks for watching.